The Earth from space is an absolute amazing sight to behold. No matter how much you've been told about what it will look like, you cannot expect what you will actually see, because the sun shines off of it so brightly and it's so beautiful and so vibrant that it just takes your breath away the first time you see it. The first time I saw it, I hadn't even gotten to the International Space Station yet. I was in a Soyuz spacecraft, really small, 3 people squeezed in there, and we were on our way to the International Space Station, which takes about 6 hours. And I opened the little cover of my window, a little porthole next to my head. And the second I saw the Earth, I exclaimed out loud, "Oh my gosh."
I've known from the very beginning that I don't fit. From the shoes I wear, to the jeans I wear, to the untucked shirt, to the beard, to the philosophy I have about approaching students in the classroom as customers and not just people who I serve. When I was a kid, I had a golf ball selling business where I'd go to the golf course across the street from us and dive into the lake, get the balls, and then sell the balls back to the golfers.
Once upon a time, there was a castle. This castle wasn't in Germany or Italy. It was in the Piedmont of North Carolina. This castle stood on what used to be tribal lands. The castle hadn't been built by a king. It had been built by an artist. And that artist built his castle mostly by himself, by hand. After several years working on it, he abandoned his project, leaving the unfinished castle to the elements. After over 10 years, the artist returned to his castle to find it in disarray. This story is about the artist's return to his unfinished project. It's the story of Castle Mont Rouge and its creator, Robert Mihaly.
For a very long time, scientists were reluctant to talk about levels of warming above 2 degrees Celsius. They often said we had to do everything in our power to stop 2 degrees, to avoid 2 degrees. But given where we are now, I think practically speaking, it's about a best case scenario. This is a warming level that the scientists of the world call catastrophic. It's not without reason. The UN believes that just by 2050, at about 2 degrees of warming, the world will probably see as many as 200 million climate refugees. They think the number could grow as high as 1 billion, which is as many people as today live in North and South America combined. But even if you take the lower end figure, 200 million, and divide it in half, you get 100 million climate refugees, which is 100 times as many as came out of Syria and into Europe and totally scrambled European politics over the last decade. Refugee crisis, 100 times the size of that.
Here I am, one of the premier sports complexes in the world. Ended up being vice president, meeting 6 presidents in my lifetime, meeting the Pope, meeting every single star that you can think of. It was just incredible. You would think that I'm a sports guy, but I'm not. I'm a workaholic. I've been that ever since I worked on the farm. And my specialty is crowds and human behavior. So I love going into big venues and planning out and looking at all the people that are there and listening to the roar of the crowd and knowing that I'm responsible for all of those folks. And I think by working events, big events, planning events, because there's no 2 events alike, that still gives me that energy, still gives me that drive.